Alright, so this project has had one obstacle after another. We've had rain almost every day for the last 2 weeks. Finally stopped raining yesterday. So yesterday evening I was cutting grass. Lawnmower's not working today. So also the shingles didn't come in. They were supposed to be in Tuesday before last. I went in on Wednesday and they had not arrived, so they called the company and they had to reorder them. And so I went did I go Wednesday? I think I went Wednesday. And when I first got there, the assistant said, no, they didn't come in. Here, it's still here in the folder. And he went ahead, double checked with the owner, and the owner said, oh yeah, they're here. And so Mark, the owner, went and told the guy where my shingles were. And the assistant, Alan is his name, was an amazing guy. I explained to him, I've never laid shingles before. I've never done a roof in my life. What am I supposed to do with these? And so he gave me some things, some instructions I would have never known to do unless someone had told me. And so the ladies and gentlemen who may not have done this before, he got a small project. I'll tell you what he told me. He sounded like a smart guy, named Mark. Told me when he was giving me instructions, he says, you know what, Alan is more of an expert than me. Alan will teach you. You go with Alan and Alan will show you. And Alan was very patient. He went through it step by step with me. He was working on a dog house, and so he showed me on a dog house. And I told him, I said, well, this is basically the same thing, just a really big rabbit house only, or really big dog house only. It's for rabbits instead of a dog. So basically the same thing. And the first thing we're going to have to do is get our shingles out. Now we have to stagger these, and so we're going to have some partial pieces on the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some of those now. That way I have some big pieces. Plus the roof cap uses individual tabs. I'll explain that more as we go along. And so I'm going to need those tabs anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few of those shingles and get ready. And we're going to do this first row and then we'll go on. And I'll show you how to do it, or at least the way Alan showed me and the way I understood Alan to tell me. So hopefully all the translations go through clearly and hopefully expertly. You know, so during this last 2 weeks, like I said, so many obstacles. One of the other obstacles, besides the shingles not coming in and the rain, the bunny mobile broke down. The timing belt broke and damaged the valves in the motor. And it was going to be like a $2,100 repair. And we were already planning to trade the old Honda in first part of the year before we went to Nationals for a newer van. So we were hoping to make it last another 4 to 6 months, but it didn't, and so we were either going to repair it and maybe drive it for another year, or go ahead and trade it in. So we went ahead and traded in. So here is your first peek of the new bunny mobile. But what I'm doing is cutting the shingles, and shingles come into 3-tab, or what I'm using is 3-tab shingles. And tabs is, they have this slit here, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm cutting 1 tab off. You want to stagger these up on the roof, and to do that, and I'm setting them to the side because we're going to time, this is how I'm cutting these. I just have a round razor with handle, and I'm taking this just so I can get a straight edge, even with the slit in the shingle. And if you cut that from the back, it cuts right off. Now, if you cut it from the front, then you have to bend it and make it snap. And that's how you get your roof caps. Right, let's go to the roof. Alright, so we are on the roof and getting ready to lay our shingles. And, you know, I put the felt paper up here. I did not know that it needed to be square or anything, so I just put it up here and got the roof covered, and it's going to work, but that means we can't use the felt paper as a guideline for laying our shingles square. So if you are concerned about that, you will need to chalk your roof. Now, this is a rabbit roof. I don't care if it's square or not. I just want to keep my rabbits dry. I don't want my roof leaking on my baby kits in the nest boxes, or, you know, even though this is supposedly going to be weaned babies under here, still, I don't want them wet, especially in winter time when it's cold. So I don't care if this is square or not. So we're just going to roll with this. I am going to do the best job that I can. So if you do want this square, then you'll have to square up your felt paper. And if you don't do that, then you'll have to chalk your roof. Now, since I'm not concerned about that, I'm just going to go ahead and start laying my shingles. And so we're going to start on this corner. Now, I will say I've already done the other half of the roof, and I thought I understood what Alan was telling me, but I didn't truly understand until after I got into like my second and third row. So the first half is not done totally correct and true, but it's done well enough it should not leak. So hopefully I have a little better understanding of what I'm doing, and hopefully I can translate to you correctly. So we're going to start here, and so for our starting shingle, I know I'm too close. I can't see this from the ground, and up on the ladder I'm too close. But we're going to start here in the corner, and you can see the shingle is upside down. Normal shingle, this tab, these slits would face towards the ground, the edge of your roof. This is the first layer, and so we're going to nail it down upside down just like so. Hopefully you can see that well enough to know what I'm saying. I know I'm too close and it makes it difficult, but we're going to do our first shingle upside down. Now like I have my second shingle. This is still the first row. Now I've cut half a tab off of that. See how narrow that tab is and how wide? I've cut half of that already off. That way I can start with a staggered shingle here. Now this is the mistake I made on the first side over there. I did not realize I needed to start with 2 layers of shingle on this first row. You got your first layer that's upside down, then you have your second layer that starts your staggering shingle. So with these 2 now in place, we can start our first row. I did not put a drip edge on this. It's just a small structure. So to compensate for not having a drip edge, I'm going to hang these shingles roughly 1/4 of an inch off the edges over here, and as well as 1/4 of an inch edge here, which is basically my fingertips is what I'm using as a guideline. So now that we have our starting shingles, our first layer, I'm going to go ahead and nail these down. And let me see if I can put the camera down to where you can see. I don't think so. Here, let's try it this way. I'm going to place the nail. We want 4 nails per shingle, and you want them below this glue line right here and somewhere in around here. Now for low wind like me, you can get away with just 1 nail. If you live on a hill or somewhere that's super windy, you're going to want 2 nails on each side, 1 on each side. But I'm just going to do 1. And just for camera's sake, I'm going to push that into the shingle so that you can see where I'm placing that nail. See, it is below that glue line. It is above the shingle line, this tab line. And I'm going to nail that down. Here we go. Well, I'm on the edge. I'm going to have to put the camera down. Alright, there's our first nail, just like so. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a nail here. And then I'm not going to put the nail here just yet because I'm going to start my next layer. Alright, so now here's our first shingle, or our first 2 shingles on our first row of our shingles, our roofing. Now we're going to go to the next shingle, and again this first layer is put upside down just like so, and you want that to overlap half a shingle, or I'm sorry, half a tab. You want that to overlap half a tab. Alright, so then we get our second shingle. Okay, again, I know I'm really close and it makes this hard to see. I can't figure out how to back up. But this is our second section of our first row. This is our second shingle. And again, you want that to overlap half a tab of this other one. So we're going to line it up there. And we have that overlapping. Let's overlap it just a little more. Okay. There we go. That's about half a tab. And now we're going to nail this down. We're going to nail it here. You're going to be going through 1, 2, 3. 3 layers of shingle right here. So we're going to put a nail here, a nail here, a nail here, and then we'll have to put down more shingles, and when we come back we'll put our 4th nail right here. Okay, so we have that section nailed down. There's my nails. And then, like I said, we have to add more shingles here, so we don't want to nail that down yet. We have to overlap down there. But before I move my ladder and continue down that roof, I'm going to go ahead and start right back up here and put my second row. Okay, so on our first row, we started out with a half a tab on the edge. And so this time we're going to go with the full tab on the edge. And what we want to do is line that up so, and you want to bring this down level. See the slit? You want to bring that level where that slit starts. So you want to bring it right there. And that will line it up all the way across. And you'll want to do this side the same way. Okay then, so that's how our stacking is going to look. By the time we stagger these, that's what it's going to look like. And again, we're going to put the nail in the same place. I'm going to put it right here below the glue line, but above the light color of the shingle. I'm going to put it right there. And we'll do it at each slit. Alright then, so we have our first 2 rows done here on our starting edge, and it's time to move the ladder and move down. I'm afraid if I get too many ahead, I'll get confused. So I'm just going to do 2 rows at a time, and it's time to move down. Alright, I am down the roof quite a ways now, and hopefully you can see I have 2 rows that are staggered. That's how it should look. And I'm down here to the end, and when you get to the end, you have to cut your shingles to size. And now I started out, here's my bottom row that goes upside down, and that took 1.5 shingles. That it has a tab, 1 tab, and then you have to overlap half a tab. So there's my starter shingle there. And then for my first row shingle, the top shingle here, this, by the time I get it to overlap, it's 2 tabs, 2 full tabs. So our last shingle up here should be 2.5 tabs, because you have to have it overlapping half a tab. And that will complete our first 2 rows. Alright, so we have our shingles on both sides of the roof. Now we have our crown that we have to deal with, our roof cap. Now you can tell on the first side, over here, I did this side first, you can tell where I wavered right here. And so I dipped down just a little bit. I actually started that down here on like the 2nd row. That was just about where I figured out what I was doing, and I had considered taking it apart and starting over at that section, but by the time I realized that I was already another row up. The way it is, it's not going to leak. It's just not straight. And my rabbits aren't going to say, well, my shingles aren't straight. I'm not going to breed for you. So the rabbits don't care, and as long as the roof don't leak, I don't care. But it was a learning curve, and so the next time I do this, and there will be a next time, believe me, the next time I'll have a little better idea of what I'm doing, and I can do better. So now we're ready to do our roof cap, and what we do is we take these shingles and we cut each individual tabs, and we're just going to lay them across the roof like so to make a roof cap. And then we'll put our nails here and here, and then we'll just go all the way. There's our first one, and then we would just put our second one just over to cover up the nails and do it, stagger them just like that all the way down, and that will complete our roof cap. Alright, so we have our roof cap almost complete. It's not perfectly straight. Has something to do with the way I'm cutting them. I'm cutting them in line with the slits, and they're not matching up perfectly. But hey, it's good enough for the rabbits. It's good enough for me. So not perfect, not the prettiest job, but it is functional. It should not leak. Everything's overlapping, just not everything's perfectly straight or perfectly square, which I guess that just falls true to the builder, so it's okay. But I'm on the last, well, I guess you would say the last 2. Here's this. Once you did the cap, here's my last one. There's the edge. You want to line them up and overlap them. And he didn't really tell me how to finish this, but I assume we're going to finish this exactly the way we started it, only in reverse, by putting the last one, next to last, on correct, and then the very last one, okay, not that way. We'll do it this way. The next to last, we'll put on the bottom this way. Well, I guess we're going to end up with a black no matter what we do. Well, I'm not sure how to finish that then. Do we just use half of a shingle? Because we're going to end up with a black there no matter how we do it. Interesting. I'm not sure how to finish this. Well, I'm going to go ahead and nail this one in place, and I guess I'm going to leave it that way until I can Google it and find out how to finish my last piece. I thought I was completing this, but no, I guess not. Well, this is how I'm finishing it for today. Right, so we finished off with 4 ugly nails showing. I'm not sure what else to do. So, voila. Roof, not perfect, not the prettiest roof, but it should be functional, and it is done.